Before we begin with our podcast, I want you to subscribe this channel because as I said, we sit here with people who have lived their life certain way that can help you to bring in some wisdom, ideas and motivation that can transform your life in a beautiful way. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me. I can't wait to be on this journey with you. Today we have with us Hari Leela Mata Ji, who's been born and brought up in Dubai, and she's been working in a corporate life for last 14 years as a product marketing manager in Nokia. Spirituality happened to her in early 30s, and then she realized the purpose of life is not just working. She's been around the globe because of her work nature. She's been to Dubai, she's been to Morocco, she's been to Europe, she's been to Korea, she's been to China. So I promise you there's so much to learn in this podcast. We talk about importance of food, we talk about importance of patience and lifestyle. And in our all podcasts, this podcast also includes suggestions to the youth on what the real success in a personal life is. I promise you it's going to be a beautiful podcast. Please let us know in the comment section your reviews on it. Thank you so much. As you mentioned that you've been around the globe. So
Yeah.
how was your experience, materially as well? And then when you turned to Krishna, that's when you might have realized that you probably wasted your life
Yeah.
at that point of time, or how was it? How was that experience?
Everything is a learning experience. I don't think I've wasted my life. I think it has been Krishna's mercy that I've been able to see the world.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, it's your chance, it's your age to just travel. It's such a boon that, through my job, I got the opportunity to meet different kind of people, see different kind of beautiful nature's creation. I've been to Korea, China, the whole of Europe, Africa. My brother lives in Africa,
Okay.
so I got a chance to even be there, and then America.
Hmm.
Yeah, so when you see all these places and meet the different kind of people, food they eat, the kind of beliefs they have, the lifestyle, and then I have come to this phase of my life. So all that is just a learning for you to understand what we say is materialistic lifestyle. It's not a fun thing to have.
Yeah.
It's like you know you can't have that this is a rosy picture of the material world. It's nice, but if you don't have spirituality, that is of no use.
Yeah.
So yeah, before I did eat everything, and
is it?
yeah, so so that's not a very nice thing. I did become vegetarian for 6-7 years of my life, and then turned the phase of spirituality started.
Okay.
So they ate everything, even people in Europe, they ate everything. And so my diet was separate whenever I used to travel in these places. So yeah, it's a different world out there, and as long as we have the holy name and we have Krishna consciousness, we are able to be safe.
Yeah.
Safe.
So how was your transition like from non-vegetarian to a vegetarian? Because I think a lot of youngsters, especially out there, they mostly like if I talk to my friends,
they just
mostly are
bite on
non-vegetarian.
beef burgers
Yeah.
and whatnot.
And they just can't
Bucket.
eat that.
What's that called?
KFC,
KFC,
chicken bucket, something like
chicken
that.
bucket and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, when my childhood, I used to eat all this. So we we have we have realized our mistakes, and that's how we are able to know the difference between what is good and what is bad. And thanks to Prabhupada, we are able to make others understand this, that this life is just not human life, it's everything around you. Plants and plants and animals, everything has life. So all this understanding comes from reading. And again, a lot of youngsters don't read. they are following what their parents have followed,
Yeah.
just like mine.
Yeah.
So once you start reading and understanding the effects of eating meat and being non-vegetarian, they would definitely stop it immediately. So
in your conversation, you mentioned food more than a couple of times. That is what I've noticed. So I think you might. I'm just very interested to know that. I think that I can be wrong. You're very much, you're very much thoughtful about what you're eating.
Yeah.
And then that depends on your consciousness as well, because that is
True.
how I've learned through my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That what I eat next day, I can relate to it. That is it my consciousness on the same level or not? If it is not, then I probably look at the day before what I've eaten, and it's directly proportional. Does that work for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Even not what you eat. Of course, we are taking only prasadam, but when you eat.
Yeah, that's true.
If you eat late, then you're going to have a tough time the next morning. You feel lethargic. So it's a lifestyle change, and thanks to Srila Prabhupada, we have the best of cuisine.
Yeah.
We have the best of all varieties of international cuisines. And all these Americans, they were all meat eaters, and how they have transformed their lives.
I think when I was working in an IT company, and then it got merged to a bigger company. And the first question that everyone asked was that will they have a beer fridge in the new company or not? So that was the main
Inside the company?
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically what we have is we have beer fridge, whiskey bottles, and glasses for wines and wine in the office itself.
Really?
So Wednesday afternoon, they just open up beer and they play ping pong. And Friday after 12, they don't work at all. And that's what Australians do. They don't like to work a lot. They just make so much work-life balance is there in Australia.
Work-life imbalance, you mean?
For them, it's balance, but for us, it's imbalance. But
it's sad. Yes, I know what you mean, because we've been working with Europeans and these kind of companies. So they drink a lot of beer to keep themselves warm. And then sauna and all these things. But I didn't know they had it in the office as well. So that's an advancement. Yeah, but it's not very congenial for the body, even physically speaking, and also for the mind. You just regret. There's been so many instances in my 20s. Yeah. That time, no spirituality, no sanskars, nothing. So it was a life of hell. Looking back, you feel that you have come up. You've
Since you have a higher taste.
Yes, higher taste. Yeah. So that's a very nice word we have heard also from the books. So it's in practice. Once I started chanting, coffee ka taste hi chala gaya. And that was the turning point, that there's something magical about this mantra. True. I mean, thankfully, the person who gave me the books, who preached to me, did not say stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this. It was such a smooth sailing entry into Krishna consciousness. I loved it because I felt addiction tha. Because 3-4 cups, it's too much. Yeah. Caffeine going into your body, but
it's not good for your body as well.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of researchers who says that caffeine is really bad for
even
your
tea, as a matter of fact.
Like caffeine, anything like Coke as well. Coke is just for sugar and caffeine.
And a lot of chemicals. Yeah. Dude, it's not just that. It's chemicals overload, and it's a big joke. It's not Coke, it's joke.
That's a good abbreviation. I can use it this somewhere. That's so nice. Okay, so there's another question just coming on the top of my head. When you start your spiritual journey, I think you need a lot of patience, because anything you start, I think materially also, if you start your business, you need a lot of patience and you're nurturing to reach a certain level. And for, I think, spirituality as well, you need a lot of patience. And how was your journey? Like, I think because when I started my journey, there were a lot of ups and downs. And the motive of this channel is that whoever's, might be starting their journey, they get inspired from the other people journey.
Yes.
Listen to them, and that's when they feel like, okay, they've also gone through these many things. I'm pretty sure when they listen to you, someone who's been working with multinational companies and then coming to Vrindavan and just staying here, I think that's very inspiring. So, how was your, patience were tested in this journey?
Not only patience, even your tolerance. We are filled, at least I'm filled with so many bad qualities. So I just feel the whole process of bhakti. In the beginning, it's nice. You are very enthused. You are very determined. Yes, this is the way to go. And then life brings you so many tests.
Mm.
But when I look back, I feel actually this is not test. This is reciprocation of Krishna.
Mm.
And how I have to work on certain, you know, weaknesses of mine, either by my anger or my discipline or tolerance. So then he puts you in that situation. Like I've never been a child person, so and motherhood happened to me. So I was feeling very overwhelmed at a certain phase in life.
Mm.
And then you learn so many things about psychology. You learned about sociology, how to behave, and what things Krishna wants you to learn. So easily he's giving you so many experiences in your life, like lo, you have to work on your anger.
Yeah.
Lo, you have to work on your patience.
That's true.
Okay, he's crying, so what do you do? So it was a bit of a phase that I had to go through, but you just have to, hold on and take a deep breath and just um, do your bhajan properly, because that's where your strength comes from. And once we are doing our chanting properly, मक्खन जैसे निकल जाते हैं ये सब things. Yes, yes. So one thing I did was I never stopped chanting.
That is what I did.
Yes, we have to continue, and we have to never stop, because this is the end and the means.
Yeah.
So we have to not, let go of that, come what may. So this is what I learned, and when I look back, things could have been worse.
Yeah.
For me. Somehow or the other, by the blessings of so many devotees, I have been able to stay in Dham, particularly my husband. And I also got the opportunity to serve Vaishnavas. Then we have received babies and forms of mercy. So Krishna is reciprocating.
Yeah.
I look back and I just see that it's just reciprocation. You feel angry at some point and overwhelmed, but it's just a phase.
This too shall pass.
It'll pass. Yeah.
My next question was this only, and I think you answered in the this answer. My next question was that how does you think that Krishna reciprocate, or anyone who's in the spiritual journey, how does the higher power reciprocates and shows you the path? Because if I talk about myself, I was introduced to spirituality in 2009, and then I went to another state for my bachelor's, and that's where the things started to get a little serious. And then I went to Australia for my master's, and there it got a little bit more serious. And then I was somehow deviated from my journey, little. But throughout the entire journey, I never left my chanting. That was one thing which I was like, that's one thing I have to do, no matter what happens.
Yes.
So that was, I think that saved me, and it brought me back to my journey. And at that point, I think Krishna reciprocated with me in certain way, and they somehow connected me with few of the friends, few of the devotees, and they guided me. So I thought Krishna is probably teaching me through them.
Yes, yes. He sent devotees.
Yeah.
Devotees is, in his heart. And in the heart of devotees, Krishna resides. So if we have devotees, as long as we are under devotee shelter, we are protected from Maya.
Yeah.
We are not going to go astray.
The next question which I wanted to ask was that since you've been very successful in the material world and
For a time being, yeah.
for a time being, and now you've been practicing spirituality for a long period of time. So I see a lot of youngsters, like especially on like if we talk about someone who's on my age, like 20 to 30, people are very stressful, very you can say in stress, and they are very disturbed as well. And when I see them, they are very ambitious with regards to their career, which is not wrong. I think
Yeah, it's good to be ambitious,
Yeah.
but not over ambitious.
that's what. And
Because we have only one life,
yeah,
but they think they have many lives.
yeah. So my main question is that it's okay that, as you said, it's okay to be ambitious, but they should connect something. They should be connected to something, some higher power, or some spiritual journey. They should have something, so that it also helps them to grow spiritually and materially as well. But somehow the spirituality is just gone because no one is ready to listen to anything, and probably I don't blame them as well because they're doing what they see. Their parents are not doing it.
Yeah.
And also a lot of myth is there that because a lot of cases are going on with the spiritual gurus out there, a lot of movies are being made, that guide youngster to a different road, which make them feel that this is not what they should do or this is not true, whatever. Yeah, but we have a lot of other roads as well which are true to their roots, as ISKCON is, like Prabhupada is, and they taught us exactly what it is. So how do you, what do you suggest to all the youngsters out there who are ambitious but they're somehow just very far from spirituality?
Yeah, I mean, I try and empathize with that. Like you said, the parents are not doing, that's why the children are not picking up. But after a certain point, अजय 17-18 के बाद तो connection अगर नहीं बना है तो आगे भी नहीं बनेगा. So what they do or not do, it is not up to what they will follow. If the parent and child is not connected heart to heart, after 17 years and 18 years, you can't connect with the child. So, all the parents should hear this, that if you want to connect with the child, of course, before 13 years, you can connect with the child. After 13 years, it's a teenage years, then you can't, treat them like a child. It has to be more of a friendly relationship, and that's it. At the age of 15, 16 is your only chance to connect with the child. तब तक जो भी ज्ञान दे सकते हो बच्चे को तो दे दो. उसके बाद yes, he's on his way, and he will make his own choices because he's an adult, and also he's just fried up probably. So in these kind of situations, it's also a role play of the society, how education helps, how there's a big thing about what is being taught is not very true. It's all become a myth. रामायण को लोग मिथ बोलते हैं. हमारे हिस्ट्री को लेके पता नहीं क्या क्या.
राम से तो it was all, they said it's all fake.
Yes, and glorifying people who are actually not worth glorifying, even in history textbooks. Our history is what? We don't know.
Yeah.
So we have to understand, and we have to channel our energy to understand where we are, where we have come from. अगर हमारा past नहीं समझेंगे तो फिर present तो जानना ही नहीं है तो आगे कहाँ जाएंगे? So if you want to really make a difference, I have been hearing so many speakers say that if you want to make a difference to your life and to others' life, then you have to channel your energy towards understanding the purpose, understanding spirituality, not just going by what you hear. So you have to get the right kind of association. So for these children, they have to get their hands on a book, Srila Prabhupada's book, and Prashadam. That's the only way to change their mentality, and and people like you are doing such a great thing by following on the spiritual path. So that's itself a big advantage for a lot of other youth. So I just feel that if they get prasad and they read, they will have their buddhi.
Yeah.
Intelligence will come from Krishna. Movies are being made, and our role as parents are becoming more and more difficult. But thanks to the books that we have, we are able to educate our children. Who is Shiva? Who is Ganesha? Who are the demigods? Why the demigods? And why this creation? So we are able to explain and answer these questions. So as long as the parents are, serious about giving them the right education, the right path, then only there will be some changes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, blind, following the blind.
Yeah, that's what we did. Like as a kid, I used to do the same thing. Like I used to go to temple and just close my eyes, pray, and come back. And now I realize that that's not what you do. You actually see the deities, what they are wearing, the color of their dress,
Yes.
if there's some flowers there or not. So I used to just go close my eyes, pray, and come back. And the only thing I knew was there's only Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh.
Wow, at least you knew that. I didn't even know that.
That's the
So
only.
it was so much of a, let's say, blind, blind education. What we are given sometimes is actually not healthy. So I'm opting for homeschooling and education with devotees. So that is why I feel less stressful to answer to questions like we have come from apes, the Darwin's theory, or the Big Bang theory, whatever. It's all bullshit. Sorry, but it's just this what we are being taught. That's not what I'm teaching my children. I mean, we have the Bhagavatam, second canto, where the whole creation is shown. The whole Goloka chart is there in my house, so you can show them. Okay, that's the spiritual world. We have come. I mean, that is the place we have to go to because that's where we belong. So visually, you're able to explain to children more often. They ask more questions. Baki, as they grow up, they will also see their atmosphere. So more and more awareness has to be done, more and more book distribution. That's the only way the new generation can connect.
But the new generation is very much inclined towards, as you mentioned, Darwin theory. That was not the question on the list, but I think that's very important to touch on because people are convinced that it's Darwin theory where we come from.
No way. None of my answers. Because Prabhupada cuts all this.
Yeah.
Cuts all this. He's giving shastric knowledge. He's giving knowledge from scriptures. We are hearing from sadhus, and nobody says that my great ancestors look like apes. No one looks like that. Tell that to the children. No?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I don't have a mouth like an ape. Even the tribal people which still exist, they don't look like animals. They dress up dirty, but animals, they don't look like animals. They don't have hunchbacks or they don't have teeth or claws like that.
Yeah, true. So, probably towards the end of it, we've almost reached there. But there's just two questions which are coming on the top of my head. The first one is that you've experienced that material success, as I mentioned before, for some period of life. So for all the youngsters, I wanted to ask that, is that the answer for everything, like money and that position, that happiness? Do you get that happiness when you reach there? Because everyone wants to reach at that point.
No, it might look very glorious and having a great figure or having the best of cars or the best of watches. No, it's when you speak, what is your intelligence level. Then we will know whether you are like a foolish man can own all this, but jab tak idhar kuch nahi hai, you cannot really make a big difference. So it's about purpose of life. अगर वो क्लियर है ना लाइफ में तो सब कुछ आ जाएगा.
Hmm.
अगर वो क्लियर नहीं है तो फिर you can be running in this rat race
Yeah.
and then get tired and then die
Hmm.
and then again become a rat probably.
Yeah.
So
It's a
so
circle.
it's a circle, it's a vicious circle, and that's why we have to transfer to a virtuous circle.
Hmm.
How we can understand the purpose of this life,
Hmm.
this human life, and then raise up.
Hmm.
Then that will be a success.
Yeah, that's what. I was listening to one of the lecture, and in that lecture by Swam Keshav Swami Maharaj,
Yes, yes,
he
yes.
speaks beautifully. And then he mentioned in his lecture that in early days people used to follow North Star. They didn't have compass at that point of time, so they used to follow the North Star to see the direction of their ship, where to go. And he said in one's life that North Star is missing. They don't know what North Star is. The purpose is not clear. When you get to know that North Star, then everything just falls into place because you know where to go and you
Yes.
just keep your boat flowing towards that direction,
Yes.
and eventually you reach at that point.
Yeah.
So that was one of the beautiful things that there are two things just coming on the top of my head for your spiritual journey. How important are two things which I really wanted to ask you. First is surrender, and second is letting go your ego. Because if I talk about myself, I used to pray. I started praying that I have a lot of ego. First of all, I think you need to acknowledge that you have ego.
Yeah, males have more ego.
So first thing is that I acknowledge that,
Okay.
and that was something which I think was good for me. Because a lot of people have ego, but they don't say it.
Okay.
And I used to pray to Krishna that
So nice.
let this ego go. I want to let go this ego. I don't want it. Everything is done by you. And if everything is done by you, then who am I to do it? So that I goes away.
It's a nice prayer.
Yeah.
That is the basis of spirituality. Because we have to understand the greatness of the Lord and how our problems are not great. Our our achievements are not great, but the Lord is great. His mercy is great. His devotees are great. Mahaprasadam is great. So everything connected to the holy name, to the Dham, to the Lord, His devotees, that is great. And if we just blindly follow what our acharyas have done, we are also going to be great.
Yeah.
What else is there? We want to be great, right? So you do your service nicely, seriously. You do what your acharyas have done, and then you will get the feeling of greatness. So if you want to feel great, or if you want to feel important, what you have to do, you have to just be a servant of the servant of the servant, because ultimately our goal is to get the mercy of the Lord. और जो सबसे मीनियल सर्वेंट होगा तो उसको ही ज्यादा मर्सी मिलेगी, लाइक हरिदास ठाकुर. आई मीन he was so devotee. I think about it and just imagine a devotee getting whipped.
Yeah.
But he's not stopping to chant. मेरे रोंगटे खड़े हो रहे हैं. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. But he was praying that please, Krishna, don't let anything happen to them. So that was his greatness. That thing of surrender, what you said, is his greatness. So for everything is opposite from material life in spiritual life. The more menial servant you are, the greater you will be. So what we have to do in this Tranadupini Sunichena case is that we have to serve as our acharyas served. They are acharyas, they are guru. So that's the only way to be understanding humility, because how our acharyas, how Srila Prabhupada, how he said that I am not doing anything, you boys are doing everything. I mean, it is my Gurudev who has done everything. after taking the whole Bhagavatam to the West
Yeah.
and preaching to drunkards and the most craziest people, living an austere life, not demanding anything from God brothers, expecting anything from God brothers, God sisters, on his own at the age of 70. Oh my God.
We can't even think about it.
We can't think about it because he has developed that humility and that faith in the words of the spiritual master. So, like you said, it's a very think about education. You have to understand that if you don't read, you will not know the greatness of this creation and the creator. So the more you read, you will be more humbled that how much knowledge everybody has and I have nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I think most of the people that I've talked to, there's one very common thing when what everyone's saying, and that is read books. Like everyone is just focusing on one thing, read Prabhupada books, and everything is in there.
Okay.
I was talking to one of the person I interviewed, and he's amazing kirtaniya. He sings beautifully, and I was just randomly talking to him that how do you do it, and he answered that I read books. He said when I read books, I connect to Krishna, and when I connect to Krishna, that's when I realize that this is the way he wants me to sing.
Yes.
So that was so beautiful,
Yeah, you get to know everything, and as Srila Prabhupada says that everything is in my books. I've given you everything, and it's not him. Krishna has told him what to write.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He's giving the purport, he's giving the commentary, and Srila Prabhupada has so kindly written and heard and written and everything. मतलब सोच के ही मतलब ऐसे लगता है कि seriously this is real Amrit Varni. We are getting the real nectar.
Yeah, actually the food for soul.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the best therapy.
Yeah.
I know a devotee is a page by page be a sage. So he's also a Prabhupada disciple, and I thought that was so cool. And he was how propagating reading every day and learning shlokas every day. I forget his name. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
He's in America.
Okay. Yesterday someone said that Prabhupada said if you read Bhagavad Gita, you'll get blessing. If you'll read one page of Bhagavad Gita, you'll still get that blessing. If you read one line from that page, you'll still get the same amount of blessing. And if you read one word, you'll still get the blessing. And even if you just pick up the book and sell it to someone, it's the 10-time blessing you'll get by reading.
Yes. He says, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 18.68. We actually, what we did, Hare Krishna, have you read this book? Acha, haath laga diya na bas. His journey to spiritual world has started. Somehow the other just book thama do haath.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he's done. I mean, my work is done.
Yeah. That's what I
Because
do.
then Krishna is playing his part. All we have to do is explain to him that this is the book, this is the word-to-word meaning, and this is the purport, how to apply it in your life. नहीं, भगवत गीता है हमारे घर में.
Yeah.
कपड़े में ढली हुई है.
Yeah, that's what.
लाल कपड़े में ऊपर रखिए. तो बोला अच्छा, तो ये अभी ना हम आपको ओपन बुक दे रहे हैं, आप पढ़ो इसको. नहीं, भगवत गीता रखने से ना बहुत सारे फाइट्स होते हैं.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
फाइट्स करने का इंटेलिजेंस कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको? यू रीड दिस बुक, सब फाइटिंग खत्म हो जाएगा. What all philosophies they had. It was just amazing to see that in the course of book distribution. So I was actually wondering, and we used to go back and ask these questions to our seniors. In such way fighting होता है? नहीं, this is part of the whole Mahabharat, and this was on the battlefield. So people have this misconception that fighting होएगा.
Yeah, that's true. So are you still working?
No. I am a full-time homemaker.
Yeah.
My only job is to create my own book distribution team of 3 children. So they are. I'm at home and we are taking care of the children.
So how were you introduced to spirituality? As you said, your family was spiritual, but at a certain extent, but you were introduced to some higher power or higher. There's someone who might have introduced you to
Oh
this.
yeah, I have been in a corporate life for almost 14 years or 15 years, and when I moved back to India in 2002, that's when I got introduced to Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And you know, Bharat Bhumi is so spiritually loaded that once you live here, breathe here, you just naturally incline towards, spirituality. And I was very amazed at how this devotee in my office, he's actually the one who brought me into Krishna consciousness, how he was praying to his food.
Okay.
So that was like a small act of thanksgiving. So he was doing that, and I felt very touched and moved, and that's how I was forced to ask him that what is this all about. And I don't pray to my food, so I just put my hands together when I go to the temple. So he explained me the whole concept of prasad, and then he gave me some Srila Prabhupada books, the small books.
Yeah.
He gave me those, and then later on, at the stage of finishing those books, then we got the Bhagavad Gita. And slowly, we started chanting. I started chanting. My father started chanting. So it was.
Was this in Dubai?
No, this was in India.
Okay.
So I moved back from Dubai to India in 2002. And before that, I was all over the globe. Actually, I was working in Dubai, then moved to Morocco for 2 years, and then to India.
Okay.
So I was posted here with Nokia, and yeah, that's where the spiritual journey started.
That's nice.
So yeah, and then since then I've been attached to the movement. It's gone. And yeah, ever since we are taking the holy name and prasadam and books.
Yeah. So that's about it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's a new experience for me. So I may have said something which is offensive. So,
but I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening to this will be very inspired from your story.
I hope so. I hope so, because it's all about the mercy of the gurus and sadhus who have been in my life, that I've been able to reach in this stage of spirituality. I still a long way to go. So I'm also a practicing devotee, and I pray to all the viewers to please forgive me if I've said something offensive, and thank you very much for tolerating me.